I came from a startup that was doing commercial products. My first reaction was that I actually don't need to find any room for advertisements, or I don't need to try to promote one thing against another. It was all about finding information, finding data, and there's something very pure about this, because you really feel that you're helping the user in the task of finding something. This principles of UX design, or principles of design in general, the base assumption is that you have a problem. If you don't have a problem, you should not be designing anything, basically. When you set out to solve a problem, you for me, the principles are, because it's an individual thing, you keep it simple, you stick to minimalism, and you employ qualities that you might not use in the everyday, in the aid of helping you get to the right answers. Like qualities like compassion, where you try to imagine being in somebody else's shoes, imagining what it is to be somebody else. The principles, as I see them, are not about the design itself, but actually about your state of mind when you do it. The general layout, to start with, is quite easy to get, because you're never starting from blank. You have an existing product that you're redesigning, you have common practices on the web, you have what's called UX patterns, that is just an accumulated bank of common practices and patterns that are being used around. You would find search bar at the top and prominent place, and you find a result list. But then when you get to the details, to things that are more unique to this particular product, then you start understanding, oh, this is our challenge here. It's not like there's nowhere in the web I could actually, cherry pick. So every feature that we have, we actually run it first with ourselves, and then we run it with a working group, and we run it with whoever we can, just to try to yield as many opinions about it as possible. So the process is to run it with those people and see that the specifically suggested design actually survives this process. For those who are already venturing into such projects of customizing, Primo designing their systems, I really recommend constantly to remember values of joy, and there's fun, recreativity. All of these should be elements that are injected into anything that is pragmatic design, because this is what actually creates our emotional response to a product. That's what makes us go back to it. It creates engagement. It's actually, we kind of miss it when we're not with it. And these are values that should constantly be on the table.